Respecting the traditional custodians, we acknowledge the Turrbal and Kaurna peoples as the original inhabitants of the lands now known as Brisbane and Adelaide. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and recognise their enduring connection to the land, waters and culture. Hi everyone and welcome to episode 28 of Brown Girls Down Under. Thank you so much for your support over the last 27 episodes. We've got really good feedback and not so great feedback as well, but that's okay. We accept all in equal measure. How are you, Desh? Welcome.
I'm good. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Your parents are back?
Yes, my parents are back, and that's why I'm I look like a hadda because we literally went for a beach walk and we came back. Aww. And I was like, okay, I don't have time. I'm just gonna sit and just record. So
yeah, I also want to apologize for my parents because I've oiled up my hair, so I look like a
so
greased
cute.
ball.
You look so
yeah,
cute.
I was like, how do I make my greasy hair look more presentable? So I put it on a bright. So, but yeah.
How's your week been?
Not bad. I went to site for 2 days.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I went to site for 2 days, looked at a few jobs. It's different because both jobs that I've got at the moment is down the mine end, which I haven't got much experience down there, and it's very weird because the two opposite ends of the plant seems to work very differently from each other. So it's very interesting to see, but it's also like a lot of new information, which I feel like I feel like it's my first rotation all over again because I'm like learning new things. I feel like which is it's good, but it's also because these rotations is more technical. I'm learning a lot more technical engineering stuff related to my trade, so stuff related to electrical engineering, which is like more calculations, more designing stuff, which is really good. But yeah, no, it's a bit challenging, but it's really good. Yeah. How's your week been?
Yeah, my week's been okay. So my parents did come back from Sydney, which is good. It's so good to have them. Yes, but we have to move house next week, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because the owners of our current house want to move back in and blah blah blah. Anyway, just stuff that renters have to go through, right? So thankfully we did find a place quite close to home. So maybe in the next episode or the one after, I'll be recording in a completely new location.
Different.
So so we can you can look forward to that. But yeah, so I'm just enjoying the last few days of no packing and peace. Before, like, I hate moving so much.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I love it.
Really? Oh, I just hate packing.
Yeah.
I just can't deal with packing.
Yeah.
It's just so annoying.
Because when I was in Melbourne, I used to move every year.
Really?
Yeah. I moved every year. I think I moved every year.
That is so stressful. How do you do that?
I don't know. I enjoy it because I like being in a new space every year or every 12 months. I really love the process of because I like decorating and setting up new spaces and all of that. Yes, packing stuff is not very enjoyable, but then again, I think my experience was not so bad because we had a lot of friends. Usually friends get together, and I like true. That. I like so I would usually, because I didn't work 9 to 5 at the time, although I did more work back then, I feel like I also had a lot more time as well. I don't know how that works. But, and then, I was just like, obviously I don't like unpacking sometimes, but it's obviously very challenging the first few days after you moved because you don't know where anything is. Yeah. But I just really because every year, after I move, I do as soon as you move to a new place, I do a big Kmart run, a big Kmart shop where I buy all these new things, which I love. Yeah. But I do understand now that I understand where you're coming from as well, because now if I were to do it, although yes, we've got so many friends, but it's a bit of a process.
It
now.
is, yeah. So
But
I'm
yeah.
actually not as stressed as I usually am because my parents are here. So I know that because when Ryan and I are at work, then they are more than happy to like help us move. So I feel like we can cover like moving and renting overseas and everything in a completely different episode because
Yeah.
I feel like I've got enough stories for that. Like it'll fill up a full
Yeah.
podcast. So we can
Yeah.
probably talk about that later.
Yeah, because there's definitely things that you learn for the first time, and you get bitten by so many things that you didn't know that you were
Exactly.
supposed to do.
Yep.
And then you just by the second, third move, you're like, I know how to do this.
Yeah,
I got
you're
this.
a pro. Yeah, exactly.
We can definitely talk about
Yeah,
it.
so
in
let us know
another
if you'll be
episode.
interested in hearing about our experience and if what you want to ask us, just let us know and we'll try to provide.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, we've got a special topic to talk about today.
Yes.
What
So
are we
we were
talking about
actually we
today?
got told by a few people that that we were talking a bit too much about Zoe. Not true.
Yeah.
We disagree.
But you know what? I saw that comment and I was like, oh my God. But then I do understand where that person's coming from because I obviously have, friends who've had kids and and I've seen that transition where like so one of my friends had a baby and all I could see all over their social media was like her baby because they're adorable and you want to, and that's the same thing as when someone gets a pet.
It's
that's
the same
all
thing.
I see.
It's the same thing.
And I'm like, I remember it's like, oh my God, like sometimes I'm just like, because you sometimes when you see the same type of content, you just like, okay, no, I can't.
Skip.
And I feel that exactly. And but I also now feel the excitement of having a new pet and all of that. But I see that comment and I also get other DMs on my Instagram saying, oh my God, Zoe's so cute. I want to see more of her. Please talk about her in your pod. And I'm like, but some people don't want to hear about Zoe.
Maybe you need to have a separate podcast about Zoe.
Yeah, just Zoe and myself. Like,
exactly. It should be like stories of Zoe, and then just you and your cat.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a separate Instagram page for
I
Zoe.
agree.
Oh my God.
I did tell you that. I did tell you that.
But I hate people who do that because it's just
come on. Okay, this relates to our topic today. So it's perfect segue.
True.
But people make a lot of money off their pets on social media. So I told MJ as well. I feel like we should like fully enjoy and make use of her cuteness because she's going to give you all the big bucks.
I like talking about going into that topic. Have you seen this pet like social media account called Tucker? It's a golden retriever.
I've seen a lot. I'm not sure if I've seen that. Okay.
So this golden retriever, he's like absolutely beautiful. Dyson actually sponsored them.
Is he the one who like?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Did you see the Dyson Airwrap?
Yes. So that one. I didn't know his name. Okay.
Yeah, it's called Tucker, and I love
Dyson sponsored it. Wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
That is like another level of achievement. That's another flex.
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. I mean, for a long time now though, because they've been doing full-time content creation just using their pets. Because there is a lot of hats off to that woman. I don't know how she does it because with pets it's hard because they do whatever they want to. You kind of have to. Yeah, but she creates so much content and she puts out so much content and she dubs the dogs as well, so they do like voiceovers for the dogs and all of that. So that's a lot of hard work. Oh my God.
I would like to know what runs in the dog's head. Like, is the dog like, oh, here she goes again?
Yes.
Or is the dog just zoned out, spaced out?
Yeah, he must be wondering like, is this like, because that's the human that he thinks is, so he must be thinking this is the normal human.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like this is how they live their lives.
Everyone does this. Yeah, this is normal.
Yeah. But I heard, okay, this is not another, I'm sorry to spit out more cat facts, but apparently cats think that you're just a bigger cat.
Oh.
That's how they think you are. And when you go out, they think you're going out to hunt.
How do people know this though? Did they talk to a cat?
But actually, yeah, I don't know what they think, because and apparently that's why they keep checking on you, because you know how cats, they're very light sleepers because they're always on alert. So they wake up at the slightest noise, because they're always wanting to protect or be on alert of their surroundings for protection.
Yeah.
So when you're fast asleep, they're just alarmed because you're not on alert. So she's like, the cat is wondering why you're so like dozed off. So because you're not protecting yourself. Because the cat is so puzzled as to why you're so like, you know, knocked out and sleeping and you're not protecting yourself. And apparently that's why they keep coming and making sure like
that you're
breathing.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's why when you said that Zoe like sits in front of your face when you wake up, that's why.
Yeah, she's just checking that I'm not
so
dead.
Cute.
Either that or she's just...
Do kids do that? No.
No, they don't. This just sucks the life out of you. I mean, I don't know whether Zoe's just checking if I'm dead or whether so that she can eat me.
I was going to say.
Plotting to kill me. No, that's yet. We shall find out.
You'll
but enough
find
Zoe talk.
Eventually, yes. Okay, anyway, so like I said, segue into today's topic.
Exactly.
This topic actually, I thought of it because I watched this creator called Hannah Alonso on YouTube. So I'm sure MJ will link her somewhere here. But she did a video on content creators or influencers who follow certain trends or do certain things or lie. Actually, that was the biggest thing that caught my eye, who like point blank lie about certain things to get views and, you know, follows and all this kind of thing. And she went into like, she deep dived into a lot of like very popular famous creators. And then that really got me thinking. Like I watched a few of her videos and then it really got me thinking, because like this is obviously not us talking any smack about content creators, about influencers, nothing, because this is I don't know, I feel like it's just like it's just another step in marketing, right? Like back in the day, marketing was like, you know, newspaper ads, magazines, TV, radio, whatever. This is just another step, the step forward. And you know, that's how it is, that it's just a new job that's been created. And the thing is, it's less barriers to entry. So a lot of people are stepping into it. And I'm sure like in Sri Lanka, it's the case as well. Like we don't even live in Sri Lanka, and we see how many people are actually in content creation and influencers and all this kind of thing. So I think people are a little reluctant to use the word influencers now, and they use content creation. And it's great, you know, there are some people who do a really fantastic job and they really promote very positive things, and you know, they like talk about brands that are actually serving a really good purpose and actual solid brands. But then there are also content creators and influencers who do quite the opposite and promote things that are wrong and that they're not meant to promote, but they talk so highly of it. And the thing is, I feel like us as millennials, we kind of, because we kind of grew up without social media, and then we also had a bit of both.
We saw the rise of it.
Exactly, yeah. So we kind of are able to distinguish between good and bad. Not always, of course. Like I'll be the first one to admit I've fallen for so many things, which I will talk about. But especially the younger audience who have only consumed this kind of thing, they are more like, I saw someone had commented saying, you know, we laugh at boomers saying that they fall for these scams and all these calls saying you have won whatever, and they give all their details. That person was saying influencers and content creators are kind of the new age of that, and like people are falling for that because it's true, you know, it is true. And some brands are fully like depending on them to do that. Like they don't care as long as they get the money. They don't care about what message they promote. any sustainability, nothing. They don't care about that. So I think that's why it's really important for people like Hannah Alonso to show the other side of it. Like certain things, she's a bit extreme, which you and I both agreed on, because she nitpicks to like a very deep level. But it's important to have someone even talk about that side of it, because you need an equal balance of it. Otherwise, it's just, it's just not going to work.
It's because I think, look, so I first heard about Hannah from you, and I saw some of her videos, and I was like, oh my God, like that's a bit too much, because I myself has created some content, so I know the reason behind some of the shots, than some of the things that people do and why they do it. I do get it. But at the same time, I do also understand where Hannah's coming from, because some of these creators have a fan following of almost like a cult, where they blindly believe and they take everything literally. Because and I do and I think a lot of the times Hannah's speaking to that type of that crowd of the fan, which I think is important, because I just can't. Sometimes I'm just amazed at how literally people take things, and I'm just like, I can't believe that you actually believe that what this person is saying is like 100% true. And that's just crazy to me. And yes, we've now seen the rise of obviously social media is now been there social media marketing's now obviously been there for a while, but it became this huge phenomenon in the last I guess 4 or 5 years. And now it's unfortunately or fortunately come to a point where people do and say anything to make money, because that's now, fortunately unfortunately to some people, is a full-time job. So that's how they make a living.
Exactly.
So you have to understand that, just as like you would do anything to earn money and, to fund your, daily essentials and for your necessities, people will do the same, and you can't rely, because there's no governing body to govern these influencers or these content creators, right? Exactly. No one to check. So just like how just like I can't make up a random product and sell to you without going through the authorities or the governing bodies to make sure that I do the right thing. There's no governing body for them, so they can do and say anything to sell anything to you. So as consumers, I'm not saying social media marketing is a bad thing, because sometimes it's the best thing, because sometimes there is a content creator who looks like me, who's using the same products, and I can definitely trust her because she looks like me, and she's reviewing the products that before I can actually make a decision or waste my money on something that is not going to suit me. I can actually take her word for it, and it's up to her to maintain that trust. Relatableness or trust, or have that social responsibility, so her audience can actually trust her and I don't know, get something out of that content that she does. So, and that is why I think social media marketing is so big, because the audience that they have, these content creators have, it's more like, it's very different to other types of marketing, because these people who's buying this has a almost like a personal connection with this content creator, because they have they feel like they have a personal connection, because there's more relatableness there.
Exactly.
So, and that is why I think it has become effective as it is today. So, and that is why, but in saying that is why also as consumers you need to be a little bit more intelligent and instead of blindly trusting everything that's on social media. So you gotta be a bit more selective there.
And you've got some stats there. I think we should probably share some of that, because that'll, I think, show the magnitude of content creation and social media marketing, and how far it has come, and how much brands will actually pay to get people or influencers to say what they want to say.
But so this, I'm not too sure if it's just this is just probably not in Sri Lanka.
No,
this is probably in Australia, or even like in the global stage. So nano influencers who has 1K to 10K followers, which is like a big jump.
Yeah, it is. I've got 1K.
Yeah. We could be influencers.
I know, right? If only I just put my profile on public, which I refuse to do. I did.
Yeah. Yeah, and then sometimes like I don't consider myself an influencer or a content creator, but like MJ does content creation, and he has all these brands reaching out to him saying
really?
like, oh, do you want to use this? And it's not for him. Sometimes it's just like handbags and stuff like that. And I'm like, and then he's like, oh, do you want to do this? Do you want to test these products? Or like, and I'm like, no, there's shitty bags.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I was like, they're horrible. They're horrible. I was like, I have morals. I have an ethical
I
standard.
have my dignity.
Okay? Yeah, exactly. My image is way too important for this shitty bag.
Come on, MJ, you know better.
Yeah, because... And he's not saying that because he truly doesn't know about their product.
Exactly.
So that's why, yeah. So to him, it's just a normal bag.
So that's the thing. So they're clearly approaching the wrong person because they don't care. They just look at numbers and they're like, oh.
If a brand tells him like, oh, this shopping bag is just like the most innovative shopping bag you'd ever see. And he's like, oh, because... He truly does not. He's not the subject matter expert for that product. He would blind. I could sell him something, and he would think it's like, oh, it's mind blowing.
He's like the best thing. He sounds like a boomer.
Yeah. That is why he can never be an influencer. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Oh.
Like you could like. And he's not the subject matter expert for that. Like if it was anything about finance or like anything like that, then he'll be like, oh, I know. Like if someone's bullshitting, he would know it instantly. But oh my God, like I could sell a plastic bag to him saying that it's the most innovative thing in the world, and he'd be like, oh.
He'll believe it.
Yeah. But anyway, so 1K to 10K followers, they earn around $10 to $100 per post, but I think it's more than that. I feel like if you've got 10K followers, I think it'll be a lot more than that. But and the other thing is also like some of these content creators, they create content across multiple platforms, so you can also charge them differently to which platform you're posting it on. Obviously, if you've got the more like a wider audience in a certain platform, it's obviously different. But micro influencers, 10K to 100K followers, they typically make 100 to 500 per post.
Wow.
Which, if you really think about it, like $500 per post is like sometimes like the creators don't even make the post. It's just about like uploading it on their socials. Sometimes like the brands, they already have a post that they want to upload. Yeah. So it's nothing. So then there's no work.
Yeah.
There's no
so they're just
labor
relying
or
on
anything.
the followers that already exist.
Just to spread awareness. And then the mid-tier follow influencers who's got 100K to 500K followers, they can earn between 500 to 5,000.
Wow.
Can you imagine $5,000 per post? Imagine how much Kim Kardashian's earning on a post.
Dude,
probably
okay,
like $1 million.
you think Kim Kardashian, okay, obviously she's like got other businesses, whatever. You can understand that she's rich. But even like, so Hannah Alonso spoke about Nara Smith, and at the moment Nara Smith is like going pretty viral for some of the things she does. Her, like, if you don't follow her, just check her post. I actually followed her and then I unfollowed her because I was like, she's giving me a headache. But because like her posts are so over the top, right? Like she dresses up like this, I don't know, like she's going to the Met Gala or like to something. She dresses up to make something as simple as bread. And that's her niche, right? So that's what she does. And it's funny, but whatever, pop
exactly.
off, boo,
like
it's fine.
Sometimes I watch her videos just because they're outrageously funny.
That's
and
the
they're
thing.
like crazy sometimes.
But then Hannah Alonso actually did the calculations for her views and everything, and she like came to this number, which was something like $200,000 a month, and that is like nuts. And then her husband is also some type of influencer. So
Yeah, because I think he's a. Oh no, that's
is he a
not
model
her.
or
I
I don't
can't
know,
remember.
something?
Yes, I think he's a model. Yeah.
And she's only
But
22 years old.
and she has like what, 3 kids?
Yeah, she has a
or
lot
like
of
2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? But I do like her. I watch her for her the aesthetic of it,
Yeah.
like like the way she's done her nails and like the plates she uses. I like that kind of aspect of it. But some of the stuff, I remember once she did a video of like, oh, my husband was craving brownies, and she's got this cocoa nuts and then she's roasting. But you know what, the best thing about her, the best thing about her videos,
bubblegum one? Have you seen her bubblegum video?
I think so.
Her sister wanted bubblegum and she made bubblegum from scratch.
And I'm like, but the best thing about her videos are the comments. It's like,
so see,
and it's like,
exactly, yeah.
oh my
That's
God.
another topic on its own, which is like, which again is what Hannah Alonso covered. Like she spoke about rage baiting, and that is what they do. And the thing is, I am ashamed, like, because I have fully engaged in rage baiting. Like I have fallen victim to this. And you read through it and you're like, yeah, I agree. Like. You are like feeding into it because that's what gets the algorithm going, and because obviously the algorithm reads it like, oh look, everyone's engaging with this must be really good content, and then it keeps promoting it. So like, who cares what you're like? The thing is, she's not doing anything bad, right? Like she's not
even replying. No, she's not responding.
She's not responding like any negative comments, or she's not promoting something bad or anything. She's literally just living her life, making things from scratch, dressing up, like she's going to some dinner party.
Going to parties.
Yeah. And she's getting all this money.
Making money.
Yeah. So she's smart. She's really smart. You should give it to her. She's smart.
But I remember one of those comments on this brownie making videos, like, because she's got these cocoa nuts and she's gone to that extent. And it's like, how dare you how dare you buy like store-bought cocoa nuts? Why didn't you plant the tree yourself?
I've seen that.
Oh my God, it's just too funny. Some of the comments are just like,
I know, they're hilarious.
I love it.
But see, that's the thing, right? So like, that's what we say, it's the importance of understanding and being aware of some people do things for a reason, and
exactly,
you need to be aware of that instead of like taking things so literally and believing everything that you see online.
Because I think even Nora Smith, I think her niche is to like tell the audience, or like her niche is that she's showing the audience that she can make things from scratch. And look, an average human, an average person that you see is not going to know how to make bubble gum from scratch. She puts in a lot of research into like, she's going to find out how to make it from scratch. She's going to buy the ingredients. She's obviously, she might be testing things before she actually makes the recipe. It's not to say that she does not put any work into the content. She puts in a lot of work. But people need to think that the reason that she says she's making all these things from scratch is not literal. She does not actually mean that. It's not true. And obviously there's some sarcasm in there. So people need to be smart enough to understand that. So I think what Hannah is also pointing out is that there is a certain group of people who take things literally, who's appreciating, oh my God, I can't believe your son didn't, got sick and you didn't have cough drops and you made cough drops from it. Like, no, the child would have been dead.
Yeah. And the child probably didn't even have a cough. He just like was just chilling.
Of course. Yeah. I can't believe, I honestly sometimes it's just like,
but I think
I can't make up my mind.
Like Hannah, she speaks of like mums, because there are a lot of like mumfluencers on there, right? And they kind of sometimes, I mean, there's a very famous Sri Lankan one, I'm not going to mention names, but I'm sure people know when I say it, who lives overseas with 4 children, who kind of portrays a very, she kind of got cancelled during the Aragalaya times, and now she's made her way back.
She's back.
Yeah, she's back. She's back, baby. Didn't address anything during that time, but came back with a bang. But they kind of promote. So my friend and I always talk about this. She kind of promotes this lifestyle on social media that's very like perfect. Like it's beautifully curated. You know, she's got 4 kids and she does all this, like she's she works full time, she does content creation, all that stuff. And her life just seems so perfect and beautiful. And that's great, you know, good for her. But she fails to mention the fact that she's got a lot of help behind her.
Yeah.
She's got maids and her parents and her partner, all that. So when someone, so what Hannah Alonso also spoke about was, if someone like a new mom who is going through like postpartum, who is struggling with like no help, who is get like sleepless nights, crying babes, all this kind of thing, and then you consume that kind of content, then you get so upset at yourself that you can't achieve that level and that you are not there. And I feel like on the social media, like the creators side, also there is a responsibility to show that this is it's just the highlights. It's just a highlight
exactly
reel, you know?
Because that mom's gonna see and feel bad because she's not having that life, because when it was never realistic in the first place.
It wasn't. And we don't know, like she's probably had the same postpartum, sleepless nights, whatever she's probably had it. She just never ever talks about it, you know? So that's the thing. I think as like, I'm talking about obviously in a Sri Lankan context, because I do follow like a few Sri Lankan like content creators. I can only name like a very small handful who actually talk of both sides of the coin.
Yes.
You know, like a lot of them have a very, like, great, you know, to have a positive, like, so I do get it. Some people do say that, you know, I don't want to have any negativity, all that. That is great.
Yeah.
But if you are going to have certain relationships with people and you want to build that trust, I think it's really important that you do show a little bit of reality and like what people can go through, especially for really vulnerable groups of people, like young people and also like mums, like brand new mums, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, social media is such a big social media marketing is such a big phenomenon, because the audience connects with you at a more personal level than other types of marketing, right? So for the audience to feel connected to you, I think it's heading in the right direction. I think a lot of these content creators who only show the highlights, the most of them are getting cancelled now because they never talk about that, because the realness is fading away now.
That's good, yeah.
And there seems to be a lot of other content creators who shows the bad sides, who shows the days that they're crying and they're not perfect, and you know, nothing's going the way they want to. And we all have those days. That's why it's really important to show those days as well. And also, but at the same time, they do have the social responsibility to do that, but you can't make you can't trust an individual to do the right thing all the time as well. So as consumers, you also have to be a bit more smart about what you consume. But again, I understand there is a younger generation who's going to be growing up seeing all these things, and we are already seeing effects of that, all this depression 100%. And all these things among the younger generation. Exactly, there's a lot of that, but I hope there is, obviously, I don't know if there's ever going to be a governing body for that, but now there are certain steps as to, because remember, I think when this was like a big thing, people didn't have to publicize that whatever product that they were saying was an ad. They didn't have to, but now there are certain measures that if it's an ad, but I don't think that's there in Sri Lanka, but on a global platform, they have to specify if it's a sponsored ad or if it's an ad, which I think is a big step towards that. Then the consumer can actually make a judgment of their own whether to trust the content or not. But I think because the social media marketing grew at such a rapid pace. I don't think nobody had the rules sorted out
exactly.
at the pace it happened. But now, I think obviously we need to learn from our mistakes and do
Go forward.
do the right thing and have an ethical standard.
Absolutely.
But I think it's in Sri Lanka it's sometimes almost very ridiculous because you can definitely see at the end of the viewing the content or whatever that is, you can see that this is marketing, but the way that people are reacting to it sometimes, crazy. So I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure you've seen it. I'm not gonna name the creator, but one of the and it was so crazy because this creator posted this video and a lot of other influencers started also creating or talking about that piece of content that she created. So it kind of got a lot of people fooled because of that. So it was about this perfume that someone and oh my god, the story she built, it's so lucky. Like she's so lucky that she's an actor, so she can call that it was acting. But oh my god,
that's so true. That's so true.
But I'm just thinking, if I were to do that, I could never come up with that story. Like, how creative do you have to be?
It was such, like, this is the thing, right? Like, full disclaimer, I actually really enjoy this person's vlogs and I really like, I follow her everything. But that was such an elaborate story to talk about this one product, like apparently a very cheap perfume that doesn't even last that long. To market that, to promote that. It was such an elaborate, extreme story. But again, it got the reaction that people wanted. And some people idolize her, like worship the ground she walks on. So,
True.
She fully enjoyed the benefits of that, So
100%.
Yeah. So.
But the thing is, though, I feel like I've consumed some content of this creator, but I don't know if she's actually spoken about the products that she uses. So I know she promotes a lot of stuff, which is fine, whether you use it or not or whatever that is, it's up to you. But I feel like some of these creators should actually, how like I follow certain creators because I know that they use products that I can use.
Yes, exactly.
And then they like, promotion or not, they sometimes talk about products that they actually use and I'm like, oh, and I bought those products because while some of those products haven't worked for me, some products I use religiously, so I've actually benefited. But then now that I'm thinking about it, I've never seen this creator talk about products that she actually uses, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen her, whether it's cosmetics or whatever, or could be, although I have seen her go to like certain salons and, promote their services. Maybe she uses that. But in terms of like actual products that she uses, I've never actually seen.
I have seen her speak about some Korean products, like Korean skincare products she has promoted. But yeah, I don't know.
But have you seen her repeatedly using them? Like, I don't know.
In certain vlogs I have, but not to an extent where it's like super common. I have noticed like a couple of times.
But then again, I don't think, I feel like that's not a common thing I've seen in Sri Lankan like content creators, whereas like on a global platform, the creators that I follow, some of them actually do videos of like the for an example, I follow a lot of skincare content creators, and some of them actually every month they talk about the products that they've used or emptied and what's worked for them. Again, they could be lying. I don't know. They could have thrown the product out, but
just like dumped it in the bin.
I've used this so many times. But then, in saying that, not to go sidetrack, I've used this Kin 1004 Centella Asiatica. This ampule. And oh my god,
it's good.
Like, I'm not like influencing right now, but I had a lot of like red spots on my face because I think I used too much retinol. But it's so good at like calming your skin. And that actually did work for me, but only for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but on a side note there, I don't know why I had to say
also,
that.
I think we really need to go in for a cut because this is the longest we've done without a cut.
True. Oh my god, yes.
I know.
Anyway.
So let's go in for a cut, and I really want to talk about overconsumption after that. So let's go in for a cut and we'll come back.
Yeah, I don't know. We got sidetracked for a bit.
We just like, this is such a juicy topic that
I
we
know.
really wanted to talk about. So I was mentioning overconsumption. So I don't know, you've obviously probably consumed the
Yeah.
same kind of content, but have you seen, this fridge restock videos and, like restocking my cupboards or my pantry?
I
or
have been
things like-
victimized by this video.
and also, things like, how people eat like obscene things, pickles with, I don't know, ice cream, or just like weird things
Yep.
to get a reaction. Or, so this, again, bringing up Hannah Alonso, she did like a separate video on this, but she made this video of this person making iced coffee with like really long nails, and they put
okay.
like a whole thing of like a whole tray of ice in, then a whole bottle of syrup, then a whole thing of cream. So, extreme wastage, which clearly she's not going to drink that. Who's going to drink that? And just promoting this, obviously this creator was trying to get, rage bait, get people's reactions, whatever. But also certain brands had sponsored that stuff, So she's still getting paid for that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like bad publicity is still publicity. So getting that
100%.
kind of thing. And I don't know, I just feel like in a world where sustainability should be such a big topic. Because we know how important it is to, promote sustainability, save the world for the future generations, all this kind of thing. Promoting this kind of overconsumption, there's really no need to restock your fridge with brand new things when you get it from the supermarket and it comes in a perfectly safe
Packaging.
packaging. Yeah, you don't have to empty like a bottle into another bottle and then throw that. It just makes no sense. And yeah, I'm sure I have fallen victim to it as well. I'm not going to stand here and preach that I haven't, because I have.
Yeah.
But it is like a problem,
Yeah.
because then people look at it and they're like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, I really
It's
want
aesthetic.
that. Yeah. But the thing is, especially something like a fridge, it's not going to stay like that. You're going to open it and eat out of it. You're going to close it again, and it's just going to get messy. Especially if you've got kids, it's going to be a mess. And then
It's not transparent. You can't see inside.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's not practical. It's not a practical thing.
Yeah.
So some promoters promote it and have you seen the Stanley Cup ones? I think I've got a fake Stanley Cup here, so it's not really,
ridiculous. You know the clips that goes on the handle. I'm like, and a separate bag to put the Stanley Cup. I'm like,
Yes.
what? Okay, even the things that you do to this, the variations of different Stanley Cups is outrageous and ridiculous.
Full disclaimer, by the way, this is a Kmart Stanley Cup that I only bought because I drink a lot of water and it's
That's
easier
good.
for me to drink out of it. This was $15, but anyway, moving on.
But
exactly.
the ridiculousness, and it serves no purpose. Why do you need a bag to put on your Stanley Cup, a lip balm, an eyeshadow, and a sanitizer? And hand lotion just to go on a 15-minute walk. I could go on a 15-minute walk without drinking water, let me tell you that. What the hell is wrong with these people?
And it's funny because a lot of parks in Australia actually have water filters and cups. So you don't even need a freaking Stanley. But it's funny, right? So Stanley Cups, I did a little bit of research into it. They came out back in the 70s or the 80s for people tradies who needed water to last a long time and be cool and all that kind. And now it's just become, because of social media, become this really cool thing. And it's the same with shoes, New Balance. This one particular pair of New Balance shoes, boomers used to wear that with the high socks, and that was so uncool back in the day, but now it's back being cool because someone promoted it.
Yeah, because I remember in girls' schools, right? We don't wear in Sri Lanka, we have this uniform that is a dress, okay? And you're supposed to, there's a certain type of socks that you're meant to wear with your like your school shoes. But I remember back in the day, like if someone wore like high, like, you know, socks, I remember there was like school teachers like, oh, what police karek wage sapattu mes udata daagin mokada oka nawagan, because you have to fold the socks. I remember because and then you would have like little frills at the end of some socks as well. When I was like in nursery, we used to wear those socks, but I remember like that was made fun of back in the day, and that's now it's like the thing, you know.
And now if we wear like ankle socks, which I still wear because I do really like ankle socks, we get like bullied for it because
I like ankle socks, cool. Man.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? That's the changing nature of everything, and I think that's why it's so important to really be real to yourself and to what works for you, what suits you, and really critically think about certain things that you see. So it's easy, like when you are really down, I think this is a really important message to share, like when you are really mentally not in a good place, it's easy, and I have fallen victim to this, easy to look at someone on social media who is on paper doing so much better than you, has all these beautiful things, has their life together, and then you feel so bad about yourself, you hate yourself, you just want to like cry, and then you also want to go buy the stuff that they've promoted, even though you can't even afford it. You just go and do it because you just want to make yourself feel better about yourself, you know.
And I agree.
That's just a vicious cycle. It's just it's just going to keep going around in circles. It's never going to be okay.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like I know that I've been a victim to that because I consume a lot of content where people do videos of them being so productive, as in they get up early, they get all these things done, which now after watching some of Hannah's videos, it occurs to me maybe these people aren't doing all of these things on the same day. And I try to do them. I try to do the same thing. I try to get so many things done on my list on the same day, and sometimes it's not humanly possible to do such things. And then I feel so bad, and I feel like I have been so unproductive, and I feel bad about what I've done, and I feel like I've wasted. When at some times, yes, I've been a lazy ass all day sometimes, and I deserve to feel bad about myself. But on some days, maybe I actually deserve that rest that I got because, you know.
100%. So in certain videos of hers, she actually dissects these influencers, and it's so embarrassing because some of them are so dumb, because you can literally see a clock on their wall that says something totally different, and they're like, I woke up at 4 a.m. meanwhile the clock says like 8 a.m.
But see, now that I also like instead of like, obviously before Hannah was like pointing out all of these things, I see creators like, you know, there was a big trend like a 5 a.m. club or a 4 a.m. club. People be waking up at 3:30 a.m. and I was like, what the hell is, like, you live a very sad life if you're not gonna get enough sleep. But then now that I know what it goes into creating this type of content, and I'm like, I can't imagine this person. You need to at least get up like 15 minutes before the alarm goes off, because, you know, so to set up everything, you know, especially when you're like sleepy. Okay? So can you just imagine setting up the camera and then going back to bed?
See, this is like, I wake up at 4:30 on most days because I have to force myself to go to gym. I can guarantee I go like with one eye open. Like, that's how bad it is, you know. So
I look horrendous. My eyes are puffy.
Same. And you just hate yourself. You want to like kill yourself because it's just way too early in the morning. I just can't imagine them like, you know, setting it up and just, I mean, like, I'm sure their intentions are good, but it's just not a realistic not a realistic view of what actually happens. And then you don't think about, you just obviously care only about the views and whatever. You don't think about how it actually may affect someone else. And that's why it's important, like people like Hannah Alonso. And then I've also seen other people talk about underconsumption, you know, really promoting underconsumption, and like that's another niche that's really coming up, which I think is
that's amazing. A trend at the moment.
It's amazing. Like, people really break down, like they've had this one bag for so many years and it does the job, so why do you have to like buy a different bag, you know? And you have one drink bottle that works perfectly fine, you don't need something else.
Exactly.
So we really need people like that as well, to show the other side of social media,
And
real life.
Yeah, now that you talk about it, I feel like I've been victimized by both. I feel like I'm generally easily influenced by all the trends. So last week, I know that on my TikTok, all this underconsumption core or whatever, all this, and I'm like, I felt so bad about myself. I did a whole bathroom clean out last week, and I threw away all the stuff that I haven't been using for the past 3 months, and there was a lot of it, like a lot of different creams and a lot of this stuff. I was like. And now that, we're talking about this, I was like, oh, I'm easily influenced. Someone could easily sell.
But also it's like you did that, but then it's also the future step of before you consume anything or you buy anything, like thinking twice about it. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm like a saint, because I am very much more intentional with my purchases, but I have also fallen victim. Like I remember a few years ago, there was this Australian content creator that I was following. She was from Sydney. So she was promoting this pair of AirPods, obviously like fake AirPods. They were called like Fruity or something. They were so cute. They were like baby pink. And she did a vlog and like this video. She was like, oh, this is just amazing. You don't have to spend money on AirPods. This is great. It works so well, blah blah blah. It's so cute, whatever. Anyway, I bought it, like instantly bought it, and I think it worked well for about a week, and then just one earphone just stopped working completely. And then I read the reviews. See, this is the thing, right? I didn't do that before. I read the reviews, and everyone was like, it's the worst pair of headphones, like don't buy it, whatever. And I was like, oh, why didn't I do this before? And then similarly, like oh my god, I'm so embarrassed about my behavior. So have you heard of the pheromones perfume?
Oh my god, yes. Do not tell me you bought them.
No, okay. Listen, I have a reason. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, so basically pheromones, I think I'm saying it right. So it's apparently a kind of like perfume that blends in really well with your natural scent, like whatever, I don't know, whatever the science is, and it kind of attracts the opposite sex. And in this case, obviously, I was thinking of Ryan, but I didn't do it for any reason except because all the videos, if you watch on the ads, it's all like girls testing it out on their partners. I just wanted to, because with Ryan, he's just so funny because he's such a perfume snob. He has like 50 million perfumes. He's like every marketer's dream because he falls for everything. Sorry, I always tell him this. But I just wanted to see, because he's like always talking about, perfumes and undertones and scents and all that. I just really wanted to see if he will like notice it, right? That's literally the only reason. It's nothing else.
Not gonna lie, I almost bought it as well. I was like, kind of wanted to try it, but then I'm like, imagine if MJ finds out that I spend money on this stupid perfume and I'm gonna
anyway, I was just like, I was fully convinced. I was like, surely, like everyone's but it's funny, I actually started watching those ads as soon as I woke up. I remember I had a day off. I woke up, I just went on this like tangent, like watching all these videos, and I think before my brain, my logical brain woke up, I just went and bought it. And they had a promotion, right? It was like, I think it was buy one get one free or something. I was like, oh, this is a brilliant deal. Let me just buy it. So I got freaking 2.
Does it smell good?
Oh my god, dude. It is like the cheapest, shittiest.
Oh.
Like, it literally smells like, the erasers in Sri Lanka, the really nice.
The fruity ones? Oh my god.
It smells exactly like that. It's like the roll-on version of a fruity eraser. That's what it is.
So from Ryan's point of view, you're just out here smelling like a fruity eraser.
So I actually put it, and I was like, standing next to him, like this.
I can't.
And he didn't even...
Hey, go on.
He didn't even blink. Like, he was just like, what are you doing? Like, not
Why are you acting
one
weird?
single comment came out of him. And I was so embarrassed. I still up to this date haven't told him about it. So,
Oh my...
if he listens to this, he will find out.
Yeah, we shall see. Oh my God.
But
well, now you
moral
know.
of the story, do not buy that. That is all fake. There's nothing. It's like the cheap perfume from China or something. I don't know. It's just horrible. Do not buy it.
Yeah. But then again, you that's the thing. So you spoke about how you didn't check the reviews and the reviews were bad. See, I'm trying to buy something now, like at the moment for MJ's birthday. But then there's always like, when I go into reviews, there's like some people loving it. So some people absolutely hating it. So I don't know actually how to make a conscious, like a good decision whether this product is actually good. So like, it's hard. So, as a consumer, it's a tough time to be a consumer.
It is. It really is, because you just like really don't know who to trust at this point. It's just, I know, I completely agree, because, there's a big skincare brand in Sri Lanka. I'm sure everyone knows, like, it's like in Australia, it's everywhere, the beautiful colors, the everything, flagship stores everywhere. I fully fell for, and I'm sure some of their products work beautifully for someone, and everyone and their mother is promoting it right now. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is everywhere. International consumers are influencers are talking about it. Sri Lankan influencers are talking. Everyone's talking about it. So when it first came out, I remember my parents were coming to Australia. I literally got my mom to buy me so many of those, and she just like had boxes and boxes of, they have like these advent calendar things. She bought so many of those and bought it.
It's so expensive.
It is expensive. So I would like send her money and she would buy it for me. And she was like, she used to be like, I don't know why you want me to buy these things, because like you have so many good things in Australia. Like, why do you want me? I was like, no, like everyone's talking about it.
Honestly, because you feel like you're missing out, right?
Yeah,
because everyone's promoting.
It's exactly FOMO. And they obviously market it so beautifully. The colors, the packaging, everything. But then when I came, I remember I was like, because Ryan's such a girl sometimes, like he wanted everything that I had. So he was trying to take stuff, and I was fighting him to stop him from taking it because I wanted it. But honestly, apart from one or two things, everything was so overrated for me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is this? Like, why is it so expensive? Like, none of these creams blend in. None of these, like,
everything smells like coconut oil.
Yeah, exactly. And everything just, like, the smell doesn't last long. It's just like little plastic bottles of everything. It's just chucked in
the packaging is actually, when you actually have it, like, look at it in person, it looks very cheap. The packaging.
Yeah. So it's like, and everyone was talking about it. So I'm like, what? Like, is it me? Am I the problem? Like, is it like my skin? I do have problematic skin, so is it like my problematic skin not reacting to it?
Yeah.
But certain creams like don't even freaking blend. Like, it just leaves a residue. It's so oily and it's just disgusting.
Because I remember I now know what exactly you're talking about, which brand. Because I remember when it was such a thing, I was in Melbourne and they had a store in Melbourne. And I remember I was so desperate to get my hands on these products. I even like emailed them asking, do you have a store? Do you ship internationally? Because I really wanted to try their products. But then I went to Sri Lanka and I went to specifically, it was like to my to-do list, because I needed to go to this store because everyone's talking about this. And I had also asked one of my friends, because she was using some of the hair products. Okay. And I was like, is it good, And then she said it was good, but I don't know if it's because, whether it works for Sri Lankan, I don't know, environmental conditions or whatever. Yeah. And I go there and I'm like, literally, and because people are like, they smell so good, so divine. Literally every product that I opened and smelled like coconut oil to me. And like, the scrubs and everything is just disgusting, honestly. I don't know. It's just like
I watched a few videos of this girl with curly hair promoting their like hair care range, which was not even for curly hair. like they don't have any
Yeah.
curly hair range. But because like when I went to Sri Lanka last year and I was there for an extended period of time, I ran out of my curly hair products. I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. It was
Yeah.
horrible. It destroyed my hair. It was so dry. It was really bad. It did nothing. Whereas she promoted it so, like she was a huge advocate for it. I mean, I must say, like, I really like a couple of their perfumes. I really like them.
Yeah.
I still use it to this date. There's a hair oil that I really like. So, like, it's such a handful of things that I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone just talks so, and I feel like this brand must pay them so well.
So much. Yeah.
So much of money for them to talk so big and so highly of
Yeah.
it, because it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, you know. And like, I'm very proud of the fact that a Sri Lankan brand is going on like a global scale and it's doing so well and
Yeah.
everything. But I feel like they need to back it up with, results.
You know, proper formulations and good
exactly.
products. You know,
Yeah.
like putting coconut oil in everything
Anything.
is not gonna work for every skin type, especially here, because when you have so many different like climate conditions
100%,
here
yeah.
as well. But but I also think, is it the lack of, because everyone seems to be loving it, and sometimes people, even if it's not working for them, they convince themselves because it's so good. But
And
then
also,
I also
because
feel like
I think in Sri Lanka, sorry to interrupt you, but in
No,
Sri
no,
Lanka
no.
also, because it's limited, you don't really have a lot of
Exactly.
options.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
The
when
lack
I
of-
was,
yeah.
when I was living in Sri Lanka and then I started wearing my hair curly, I didn't have a lot of options at all for my hair. So I remember I used to buy this really cheap, it was like a Boots curl cream, like from England. This one particular shop in Colombo 5 used to sell it. So I used to go whenever I ran out and buy it. It was the worst. It was like wax. It was like candle wax melted. It was
Oh my
so
God.
bad. It was so horrible. But because that's the only thing I had, I convinced myself that it's like the greatest thing for my hair. And I remember at that time I actually had a hair blog because I was coming out, I was just discovering that I had curly hair. So
Yeah.
I was like trying to help people and everything. Anyway, my intentions were good. So I fully promoted this brand, and I know a few people who actually went out and bought it. But then when I came to Australia and I actually started using products that were good, I was like, what was I thinking? 'Cause
Yeah.
that was so bad for my hair.
Yeah.
So
No,
I agree
that's
with you.
100% true, because I feel like that's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like some people like believe that this is the best product out
Yeah.
there because of the lack of good products
Other
or the
options.
availability. Yeah, exactly. Lack of other options and availability of other options as well. And because you see some of these very average shampoos that are being marketed, and the TV advertisements are just like out of this world.
Beautiful. Exactly. I know, right?
Yeah, so I think this particular brand came in a clutch because it was just like the next new thing. It was like made in Sri Lanka. It's like a Sri Lankan brand, so a lot of people were supporting it.
And it's got
And I
Sri Lanka
honestly-
on its name. So
Exactly. And especially
really-
for if you're like giving gifts and stuff like that, that's
Yeah.
just the best
The
thing
best
that you
thing
can
you can do.
Yeah. And I was like, honestly, I went to this store, like this particular store, to get some of their products because I've heard like there's such good things about
Yeah.
it. So I wanted to get some of them as gifts. And then after I actually saw the actual product, and I'm like, there's no way this is embarrassing. I'm not gonna because honestly. But so I think all these manufacturers in Sri Lanka, they need to do better. They need to have some proper competition, I feel like.
I agree.
And
that's what happens, I think, when you're a monopoly, where you
Yeah.
have so much control over the market that you can just do anything, and anyone will say anything you want if you pay them the right
Yeah.
amount of money. So
Exactly. People I feel like, yes, I know you need to earn a living, and earn money for your, you need to benefit from whatever you do. That's true. But I feel like you really need to have some ethical standards, just because.
Absolutely.
And I also feel like some of these influencers and content creators, maybe they do think that this product is good because, they haven't tried anything else.
yeah.
But I think they need to put in a lot of research or do a lot of research before they
And
actually
also,
do.
I think make a disclaimer at either
That
at the
this is
start
an
or
ad.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also say,
100%.
this may work for me, it may not work for you.
Exactly.
Try
yeah.
at your own, like, just to even plant that little seed in someone's head, because you know you read so many positive things and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get it. But I feel like if you see that little disclaimer at the bottom, you might be like, oh, actually, you know what, let me think about it, let me do some research and see, you know, if this will work
Exactly.
or not.
Yeah. Because I saw like one of these popular, I don't think she's an actress, but I think she's a very renowned dancer's daughter. So she came on a very public platform to one of the interviews and said that she promotes products without testing them herself. And then she said, oh, you know, I do promote them without testing, but afterwards I do definitely test them. It's like, but what's the point of that? If the product's not good, are you gonna, you know, come out and say, oh, I promote. Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, a few months ago I said this hair oil was so good, but now I've got an allergic reaction to it.
Yeah.
So, and that is why, because there's so many small businesses in Sri Lanka, which is great, you know, great for the people. But you need to understand some of, you know, they don't necessarily go through all these authorities or governing bodies before they sell. They don't go through necessarily like checks to see if everything's formulated properly, everything's formulated and, you know, packaged in a sterilized environment, because especially these products that, you know, go on your skin and your hair, you know. And all this, literally, all of the actresses in Sri Lanka sells some sort of whitening cream.
Whitening. That was going to be my next thing. Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around. Like, this is 2024 and you're selling a whitening cream. I can't.
Girl, you need to come to Australia and see how much people worship your skin color. They would.
Yeah, you don't know how much tanning products people go through.
Tanning beds, like weekly tans. Yeah, tanning products, what people go through. You do not realize how amazing your skin color is.
Like, white people in Australia so religiously use tanning products, they're almost convincing brown people to use tanning products on themselves. They're convincing brown people that they're not brown enough, okay?
Dude, I mean, guilty as charged.
Oh my God.
No, okay. Listen.
Okay.
I bought this Dove cream in winter, mind you, a few years ago. In winter.
Oh, true. Okay.
It was a
Sometimes
Dove
you
self-tanning moisturizer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
is that the brown color one?
Yeah, like brown or
like
gold. Yeah.
Yes.
So I bought that. One thing, I really like the smell of it. But I also it was a little bit of curiosity. I just wanted to see if it'll change. And also I feel like I was a bit pale during winter. So I tried it on my skin, but I think I used it a couple of times. I still have the bottle. So, I mean, white people convinced me that I wasn't brown enough. So,
in your defense, I have to say, like, it looks beautiful on skin. On some people.
It does.
Like, it like gives you that glow.
And like a healthy glow.
Yes. Like it's like you're glowing.
Yeah, exactly.
In your defense. You know, I myself have considered buying it, so I don't blame you for that. No. But then I also got me thinking, hang on a second, am I just thinking that I'm not brown enough? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's the tables have turned here now.
It really has. But I think, this has been like such a fun episode, I think, and really important as well. I think it's just the moral of the story is just be really, for influencers and content creators, be really responsible, have some integrity and ethics when it comes to promoting certain products, when it comes to talking. Because the thing is, once you put it out there, it's out there. You can't take it back.
It's forever.
It's gone. It's gone forever, you know? So you really need to think about what you're saying, what you're promoting. And consumers, most importantly, not everything you see online is what it is. It's not reality. A lot of the times it's just curated, beautiful, perfect content. Don't get so lost in it that you just waste your time and your life and your money and you just hate yourself because you're not as good as that person, because I can guarantee that is not their life.
Exactly. And be more mindful of and more conscious about, you know, the content that you consume and pay a little bit more attention to some of the creators that show things as it is, show the bad side of influencing, or just show, like, who does not have the most aesthetic house, the most aesthetic plates and all of that, pay a little bit more attention to them, because they might actually be giving you a bit more realistic approach, or setting a more realistic image of how things are.
Yeah, and the reality is, like, social media is here to stay. I don't know for how long, forever maybe, I don't know. But we just have to be smarter. Like, those people, the brands, the content creators, they are getting sneakier with the way they're doing things, intentionally or unintentionally. We as consumers just need to become smarter to make sure that we do what's best for us, for our mental health, for our financial health, for ourselves, for our families, all that. It is in our hands. Even if you have to unfollow people, like I have done that so many times. I have unfollowed so many people because I just didn't feel good about myself, like, watching them. So I have unfollowed, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Nothing's more important than protecting your peace and your mental health.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
whatever you have to do that, you do that.
You do you, boo. Do it.
Exactly. But yeah, it's been I feel like we've now returned to our original way of doing our episodes, where we go on tangents and then we just don't feel the time pass.
No, actually, it's been like over an hour,
we're back,
which
baby.
is crazy. Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
The brown girls are back.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you so much for joining into another episode. We hope you learned something and you're a bit more mindful in future. And yeah, we hope you take care of yourself, stay safe, and yeah, have a good week ahead.
We'll see you next time.
Wow, see you next week.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.